Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Katawa Shoujo. And we had just gotten to the country farmhouse of Lilly and Akira, which belonged to their parents before they moved away. And Hisao is there with Lilly and Hanako on a holiday from school, 3-day weekend holiday. And we'll see what happens next in Prelude. Is he still sleeping? I think so. I'm not. I am, however, incredibly tired. It's getting late in the morning. I know that. He likely stayed up to watch television. I could hear from her bedroom. Only because I couldn't get to sleep, because y'all woke me up. You should just let me sleep until morning. Should we wake him? Don't do that, Hanako, please. No, we should leave him. I doubt he'd want to be woken early if he didn't get much sleep during the night. Thank you, Lilly. Besides, he sounds so peaceful. It would be a shame to wake him when he's like this. Keep a straight face, Hisao. It is nice she cares so much, though. Hanako, could you go to the fridge and fish out what's needed to make lunch? Alright, just the vegetables and rice? That should be enough. We only need something simple, as we can eat in town later. Hanako's footsteps on the carpeted floor can be heard, moving away from the living room. As they do, I feel Lily's hand gently rest on my chest. It takes a titanic effort not to react, but something about her makes me think she knows I'm awake. A long silence passes. Yeah, I think she's feeling his chest like, I can feel your breathing. I know you're awake, Hisao. Are you going to wake up for me and you're going to talk to me? Or are you just going to fake this and just let me leave you? The only thought on my mind is of that gentle, outstretched hand laying upon my chest. After an indiscernible amount of time, Lilly withdraws her hand. Good morning, Hisao. Caught red-handed. Conceding defeat all too easily, I prop myself up and rub my eyes. How'd you know? Your breathing was off. Well, that makes sense. She couldn't have needed that long to work it out. Knowing her hearing, she likely knew before laying her hand on me. If you want to sleep more, you should really go to bed earlier. I heard the television going long into the night. Sorry about that. My medications have been interfering with my sleep for a while now. Even if I'm tired, I have trouble actually sleeping. I'm sorry for bringing it up, Hisao. I sigh. This is exactly the kind of thing I wish others wouldn't do. I could wave it off. That is definitely a thing. I don't want her to worry about me. But if I'm going to get her like involved in my life and have her, let's say I'm actually courting this girl as Hisao, right? I would probably want to address it so she's just as aware of these medications and what they do to me. So if at any point I'm unable to take the medications myself, she would be the one to kind of figure it out, even though I know she's blind, but I'm sure we would come up with some sort of system where she can help me take the pills. So this is definitely something that we would need to address at some point in our relationship. So you might as well do it now. That's my hunch anyway. Come on, you worry about me more than I do at times. It just means I have to sleep a bit longer, that's all. But still, I'd say that I look absolutely fine, but I guess that wouldn't have a lot of meaning for you. She gives a sigh of consternation before trailing off with an amused chuckle, giving up the point. If you say so, please do take care of yourself, Hisao. Go on, Hanako could use some help. She moves to protest, but reluctantly acquiesces and disappears into the kitchen, her hand running along the smooth white walls as she slowly walks. For a while, I sit and watch television in an attempt to wake myself up a little more, but it's futile. I don't have anything better to do, so I follow Lily's lead. As I round the corner, I see Hanako and Lilly, backs turned, quietly cutting food on the granite-colored counter. I am temporarily engrossed as I watch Lilly guiding the knife down carefully with a finger on the cabbage she's cutting. Each slice delivered slowly, but with precision. She seems a little slow, but considering that she can't see what she's doing, it's a small wonder she can cook at all, let alone both for her and Hanako. Hi, Hanako. Lilly, want any help? Is that Hisao? Oh, morning, Hisao. Lilly jerks back in surprise before turning around, her yelp immediately drawing Hanako and me to her side. What's... Oh! A small trickle of scarlet falls downward from her pale fingertip. Oh my goodness! I scared the crap out of her, the knife having cut just deep enough to draw blood. With the television sound masking my footsteps, she must not have noticed me coming. To compensate for having to use touch to guide everything she does during cooking, she must need to pay extra attention. Lilly! Don't worry, Hanako, it's just a small wound. You should still get a band-aid on it, at least until it stops bleeding. First aid stuff would be in the bathroom, right? I think so. Will you be okay here, Hanako? I frown at how little heed she's paying to herself as Hanako gives a quick, almost automatic nod. It's fine, I can keep making lunch. Awkward silence reigns as I set the bottle of antiseptic and box of band-aids on the side of the sink, Lily's finger held out for me to treat. The lid of the bottle comes off with a minimum of resistance, and the small ball of cotton I soak in the liquid stains a pale green. Okay, hold still. This will probably hurt a bit. She gives a small nod as I take her hand to steady it. With all the tenderness I can muster, I gently bring the dampened wad to the small red line. Ah! What? I barely touched it! Sorry. I give a sigh, both at her reaction and to settle my own nerves. Her pain tolerance is startlingly low. I would tell you to man up, but I can't really do that. Ouch. Come on, Hisao. You're really doing this now? As she gives a small giggle, I take advantage of her momentary distraction and gently press the cotton against her finger a few times. Thankfully, it's enough to do the job. We both settle somewhat as I bring the band-aid over the tip of her finger, covering the wound while making sure not to get it stuck to her fingernail. There, finished. You can move now. Taking her hand from mine, she gently clasps it to the other. Thank you. It's no problem. It's the least I can do after causing you to hurt yourself, after all. She lowers her head slightly at the apology, absent-mindedly rubbing her hand in what seems to be embarrassment. I really don't mind. You can touch me all you want. I don't mind. Her answer doesn't seem to make much sense, given what happened is pretty clearly my fault. I can't help grimacing at her, despite the fact that her dainty smile still holds. She must not like being reminded of the limitations her lack of sight imposes on her. It's something I can't possibly fault her for. I've fallen prey to the same kind of feelings before, despite my condition not being nearly as ambiguous in my life. Neither of us any the happier, we head back to the various smells of cooking food coming from the kitchen. I lay out the plates of food, steam slowly rising from the well-cooked rice and curry dishes, while Hanako lays out the cutlery. Knife one side, fork on the other, Western. How perfectly fitting for someone like Lilly. As we take our seats, taking careful heed of the dark red tablecloth hanging below our knees, Lilly emerges from the kitchen. In her hands are 3 glasses and a bottle of wine. As I recall her previous run-in with the devilish elixir, I hide my face in my palm. Alcohol? Seriously? She pauses as she reaches the table, a playful grin perched on her face. Akira specifically gave permission to take a bottle from her collection. Not only does she give alcohol to minors, she even lets them pilfer their own. The perfect model of a responsible adult, Akira is not. More to the point, though, is that this is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I'm starting to think Lily's the type to easily become hooked on things. I see potentials for alcoholism in Lilly already. That's not really the problem. I don't have any qualms with it, really. But didn't you have a bad experience with it last time? Last time was likely due to drinking too much, so a single glass shouldn't prove a problem. Think of it as a learning experience. I can't really recall many learning experiences that made me feel rotten before putting me to sleep, but I'll take your word for it. She dips an uninjured finger inside to feel the liquid level, tip against the bottom as the liquid rises up. The white of her finger almost seems to glow as the sunlight hits it, the delicate outline blurred and refracted by the glass. Her fingers are definitely longer than mine, the kind I think more suited to a pianist than a teacher. She'd likely have done well if she'd learned how to play. Yeah, I could definitely see. I think there's actually been a couple blind piano players anyway. I'd have to say that's pretty amazing, but I mean, as long as you find your home keys, you could pretty much find any other key on the piano. We quickly dig into our meal, forks and knives clattering against plates. None of us are particularly eager to speak while eating. Lilly altogether too reserved for such a thing. Hanako probably too shy to start conversation, and I too busy savoring the food. Such a pedestrian activity, eating together at a table. It seems so utterly normal, yet it makes me realize how long it's been since I've done something like this. It's called being part of a family, Hisao. Just the three of us sitting around a single table eating as if we were a malformed family. See, this is what I'm talking about. Maybe this trip, as far away from everything as we are, was worth it. It takes quite a long time, but eventually we all finish our surprisingly filling meal. The wine, thankfully, has little effect given we've only had a glass or two each. I slump back into my seat, rubbing my stomach contentedly. I'm stuffed. Lilly pats her mouth with her napkin. Twice. Only twice. With evenly timed intervals in between. It's hard to tell sometimes whether how she acts is a well-trained routine or a well-rehearsed act. I think I must be as well. Did you like it, Hanako? It was nice. Now that we're all fed, shall we be off? Off? Where? You weren't privy to the discussion between Hanako and me earlier. I get the impression that she's having a subtle dig at my sleeping in. We'll be going into town nearby. I guess I should have expected two girls to take a holiday as an excuse to go shopping, no matter where on the planet they may be. I'm interested to see more around the north, though, so this can only be a good thing. Sounds good. How's the long walk then? It's supposed to be around a mile to a mile and a half. Nearby, huh? Great. Actually, a mile and a half ain't that far. It's actually a good walk. A good short walk, in my opinion. Just great. As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lilly and Hanako walking ahead. A slight breeze all but whisks away the sound of Lily's cane gently tapping on the ground. I notice that Lily's since removed the band-aid now that the bleeding of her finger has stopped. A deep, lung-filling breath of the fresh country air makes me wish all the harder that the air around home had been quite so clean. It can't have even been half a mile, but I'm already working up a sweat. It isn't even a pleasantly cool day, though, so I shouldn't be too hard on myself for it. Hey, Lilly, how well do you know this town anyway? Since I spent quite a few vacations up here until I entered Yamaku, I'd say I know it fairly well. We used to drive there once a weekend then. How I wish Akira was here to drive us now. I quickly take a moment to rub my hands a couple of times, staving off the oddly cold feeling in them. Oddly cold feeling in them? That is never a good sign, especially if you think you're working up a sweat. Did you like it up here? I'd say it was nice during winter, but as you can work out, summers get a little too hot for comfort. It's nice and quiet, at least. My family's real house is quite far south. When they left Japan, my parents gave it to Akira and me. Only Akira lives there now after my moving into Yamaku. Well, quiet certainly describes this place. Though lonely is how I'd put it. Other than the prophesized small town, there isn't another soul for miles around. Coming from a home nestled deep within the big city, it's certainly different. I think that if I'd not come to Yamaku, staying out in the country like this would be too much of a change to get used to. After getting accustomed to the school's isolation, though, the idea of living in such a place such as this has become almost inviting. To be somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the metropolitan centers. So, Hisa, have you been to Hokkaido before? Nah, I used to live down south. We never had any field trips or holidays up this far. It's a new experience for you, then. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised at how nice it feels here. How about you, Hanako? She shakes her head from side to side. It's my first time, too. As we continue walking, I begin to feel pins and needles in my legs. It's a little disturbing, given there's no reason for it to be happening. Okay. I've not had a heart attack myself, but I know a couple people who've had, and that's really not good. Those are not good signs. Could you hold on a moment, too? I just need to... Is anything wrong? Nah, I've just got pins and needles and... Yeah. Yep. My vocal cords suddenly become taut as my chest tightens instantaneously. I quickly pull my upper arm over it, trying to quell the shot of pain spreading through my entire body. Hisao? Lily's face is only mildly concerned, not knowing the sight which Hanako's recoiling from. Oh, this must be, like, terrifying for Lilly. She has no idea what's going on right now. I'm fine, just tired. I removed my arm from my chest and forced myself to begin walking again. It's just a minor heart flutter, so it'll pass like the others. It only takes a couple of steps before my body violently revolts against me. My legs suddenly beginning to give way underneath me, and all tension in my knees seeming to evaporate. Before I can react, they uselessly give way under my weight, leaving me only just enough time to brace myself and fall onto all fours. Ah, darn! Hisa! As I look up to her, I realize my face is still taut with pain, only adding that much more to her worrying. Hisao? Hanako, tell me what's going on. Yeah, tell her what's going on. This is like probably freaking her out. She has no idea that I'm about to die right next to her. Hanako, tell me. Hanako quickly moves to my side as Lilly almost panics, having little clue as to exactly how bad a condition I'm in. While she stands there petrified, I lower my face and take a deep breath. I come to a realization that makes me endlessly irritated with my stupid self. With all the excitement of my new surroundings, I'd entirely neglected to take my medications last night, or even this morning. Oh, bad Hisao. That's naughty. You shouldn't be doing that. That causes death. Taking another breath, the acute pain in my chest begins to die down as suddenly as it had arrived. Thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. As it does, I become acutely aware of the sweat by now pouring off my face and the two scared girls around me. Hisao? I'm fine. I screw up my brow in an effort to lever myself up. Hanako's arms quickly moving to catch me if I fall as I stumble a bit before regaining my balance. I look to Lilly and Hanako, but worry written on both their faces. I feel awful, utterly awful. I think we should go back. Realizing the futility of protesting, I look away in frustration. Fine. Oh, jeez. Wow, we end on a pretty rough note there, don't we? Man, you forgot to take your meds, Hisao. That whole episode could have been avoided. So we wake up back onto the futon as before. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we were about to enjoy a rather awesome day out in the countryside with two beautiful girls, Hanako and Lilly, and Hiso has to just ruin it for himself and just not take his meds the night before, and this morning. I'm just like, really? I mean, I may not know much personally about taking drugs for like heart conditions and things like that, but like if you miss just one dose, that is bad news. If you miss two, you're pretty much risking your own life, and that's pretty much what he did here. And that whole situation could have been avoided. So he brought his pills, but he just neglected them completely. I mean, yeah, when Hanako and Lilly woke him up the night before, he should have taken them right then before watching TV to go back to sleep. But whatever. I don't think I probably would have made that mistake. I probably would have remembered every single time I needed to take the pills. Because I want to live. Anyway, we'll see what happens in the next episode. See how the rest of this holiday vacation plays out. See y'all later.